Hey guys, alright, I'm trying to get this done before it gets too hot for me to sit in my living room without the air conditioning on, because if I turn it on, you won't be able to hear me. It'll be too loud, so sweating it out. Doors 2.0. This is if you finished with Doors 1.0, which was to draw the paper version in Vectorworks. Now we're going to do a version where it's all in Vectorworks from beginning to end. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to open a new file, create a new blank document using my CS Arts template. Okay, here it is. Loading, loading, loading. Great, beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so my next move is going to be to bring in to Vectorworks the file that I uploaded into the Doors 2.0 folder, which is a picture of a door. Okay, so we can go about this a couple of different ways, but I'm going to use this import menu, and you'll see you can import all kinds of different nonsense into your Vectorworks file. Everything from 3D Cinema Max or an OBJ file. These are all different modeling files. You can get OBJs from the SketchUp library, stuff like that. You can also import textures or PDFs or a PICT, a picture as a bitmap, that kind of stuff. We're going to import an image file, which is what you've downloaded, that image of a door. Let me find it in my computer. I don't know if I put it in downloads. Nope, that's just Dog Leo on the beach. Let's look instead in the folder. So yours will be in downloads. That's where it's probably going to download to automatically. I'm going to look in this class folder on my external hard drive. Door project. Front door 2.0. That's the one I want. That's the one you want. Yours will be in downloads. Mine is on my external hard drive. So I'm going to open that. Import as. Lots of objects, right? I'm just going to import this as a bitmap. All good, right? It can be compressed as a JPEG or a PNG. A JPEG is a little bit smaller. Again, not a big deal either way. This is not a huge image, and we're going to just kind of go with what it gives us automatically for this image import options. Click OK. All right, here's a door on the front of a house, okay? My first step is going to be to rescale this image to make it the actual size of a door in real life, okay? Because right now, if I grab my linear dimensions tool and I measure the width of this door, it's like 3'9" wide. And in reality, we know that doors are not 3'9". Get out your tape measure. That'd be a really extra wide door, a little too extra for us in this case. So we're going to delete that dimension. And then we're gonna, so I just hit escape to get out of it, I hit X to get back to my cursor tool, and I hit delete. We're gonna rescale this door to be 3 feet wide, which is what it would be IRL, in real life, okay? So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on this picture so I'll be able to see really clearly my points like at the left and right side of the door, which I know will be about 3 feet. The other option would be, of course, to make it top to bottom 6'8". Sure, great, right, wonderful. But we're gonna go with the make it 3 feet. Let me make sure I'm on the scenery layer. Good, that's where I want to be drawing. Okay. So my first step is gonna be select the door, right? Make it orange. Zoom in a little bit on that part of it that I care about the most. If I go over here into modify, in the modify menu, there's the option to scale objects. I'm gonna click on that. So what I want to do is rescale this picture into a real scale, because right now it's in some nonsense scale that is not correct. I'm going to use, it's going to probably start out in this symmetric scale method, right? So that's if you know you want to scale the thing down by half, then you would put half into there. We actually want to use symmetric by distance because we're not sure how wide it is in the picture. We know how wide we want it to be in real life, which is 3 feet. So the new distance is 3 feet. That's how big it would be, IRL. The old distance is going to be the current distance, okay? That's highlighted. That was from the last thing I scaled using this software, which was a while ago, and it was something that the file came in huge. The file came in 30 feet wide, and I wanted it to be 3 feet wide. So the nice thing about Vectorworks is it gives you this little dimension-y tool, right? And it says down here at the bottom, click the button. I can't point at both things at once, but click the button to specify the current distance is what it says in that little window at the bottom. So I click the button, and now I have a dimensioning tool on my cursor. So I can say, that's the left-hand side, that's the right-hand side, this is what it is right now, this is what I want it to be. Click OK. Now the whole thing is in scale, which it wasn't before. So now we got whole thing in scale ready to go. Okay? So that's now my door. Sweet. Cool. I am going to do one thing additionally to this. I'm going to drop the opacity on it so it's a little bit more grayed out, and it'll be a little bit easier for you then to see your lines that you draw on top of it. Because for this one, instead of drawing all of your lines separate from the image, right, drawing all of your lines in Vectorworks when your image is on paper, we're going to just trace over the lines on this object. But I don't want it to be quite so bright because it'll be a little hard for us to see. So if I pull this down to like 40%, see how it makes it a little grayed out? Now we'll have an easier time seeing your lines over top of the image, okay? The other thing I want to do, just so that I don't accidentally move it around, all of that kind of stuff, if I right-click on the picture, I can lock it. So now, if I click on this, it's not going to move, okay? That's going to be super helpful, right? Because now, if I'm clicking all over this drawing, trying to draw new things, when I click on the door itself, it's not going to be locked. Or it's now going to be locked. It's not going to be something you can pick up and accidentally move when you're just trying to draw something new. So I made it 40% over here, right, when I had it selected, and then I locked it. So now it's like permanently attached to the page. Once I do that, I can grab my rectangle tool or hit the number 4. I can zoom right in, and I can just go to town tracing lines right onto the object, right? So now, and then I can line stuff up, right? Highlight that. Right? Match that height. Right? So I'm seeing some of the little shifts in perspective of the drawing, right? We can see that like this doesn't exactly line up top to bottom. So you'll still do some adjustment. And if it helps for you to see it, you can shift and select a bunch of stuff and make it not have a solid inside line, right? So you're seeing the perspective of the drawing is playing out over here. You can do the same thing over here on this side, or once you have like your overall space, like if you do your big outside rectangle strategy like we did on the other one, on the door 1.5, then you'll be able to mirror things across that divide, or you can match the height of this or round the height of this to something that's a little cleaner, right? So instead of 7'3" 5/8, maybe you make the height 7'3" 1/2. Okay, and then you can make this height also 7'3" 1/2 on this guy, right? So it's 7'3" 1/2, and that's 7'3" 1/2. Everybody's now the same height. And then you can also mirror, right, across that center object. So if I have this selected, I can pick up my mirror tool and I can mirror across onto the other side, right? And we're drawing pretty close to right into the same thing, you know, but you are going to see all of the like tweaks of perspective as you go. But this is a quick way to like trace over a drawing. This is something we use a lot when we get some whack PDF file of a theater that we don't know, or they don't have a Vectorworks drawing of the theater and you scanned somebody's printout of some other drawing that's in some weird scale. Anything like that, you can bring it right in and trace over it. And if you know one dimension, you can rescale the drawing so that it's all correctly proportional, and you'll get a pretty rough but pretty close drawing out of the deal. So that's the strategy that I would have you take on this door, and there's a lot of detail, so do as much or as little as you feel like, but This will be a good opportunity for those of you who are finished to do another round and practice your 2D drafting skills a little bit more as you go. But I would also for sure recommend anytime you do like this whole section, you can just mirror it across the center. The same with like when you draw these triangles, you can mirror them across the center. Just pick your center point. Usually I'll use the center of the top of the door, and know that that may not line up exactly, right? If I draw a straight vertical line, you can see it doesn't line up exactly with the top of this point. So if I were to draw this section by tracing it, I would then shift its alignment. I would just pick it up and move it over so that it's actually aligned to the center of the door, because I would know that that's what reality would be, even though this picture has a little bit of perspective shifting going on in it. Okay, so that's the setup for this project. This is a pretty quick video, but it'll give you a chance to practice all of those skills that you've used to draw door 1.0. And if you finish door 1.0, then you're ready for door 2.0 to bring in a separate file. Scale it, and then trace it in Vectorworks. So that's door 2.0, the bonus project for the overachievers. I'm going to save this now. Bartenstein, door 2.0. Great. Save and move on with my Saturday. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks.